Hello, and welcome to the fourth podcast for Real Peak Productions. I am Jonathan Moore, the lead designer.
I'm Natalie Thompson, the lead graphic designer.
I'm Megan Slade, the lead artist.
And today we'll actually be watching Megan, I guess, draw or color?
Yeah,
Color.
Today's a little different. I'm recording myself drawing right now. Well, I'm not really drawing anything. I already have the line art done, and I'm just going to be coloring stuff. And this is mostly for Natalie, because she's going to help me color things.
Finally, moving up from one artist to two. Though, I mean, technically graphic design is still art.
I did a little bit of art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just different than Megan's. I want to keep it in the same style, you know?
Yeah.
It all looks consistent.
But like last time I said, the stuff you need to work on, the line art's already done, so you just got to do the coloring. So first thing we're going to start off with, I already have all the color laid out, and I already did the line art, but I already went through and had the colors laid out. I got this on a separate layer, and we're just going to, I think we're going to go with the majority color right now, which is going to be this one. And I'm just going to go through and select with my magic wand tool and start filling in that stuff. I'm on the lines layer right now. You gotta remember that. Keep it locked. That way you don't accidentally draw on another layer. That's the worst.
Now, I've had to sit through and watch Megan do this part so many times.
Yeah. This part's transparent, by the way. This part right here, his fin.
Oh, okay.
It's transparent, so that's why I'm coloring behind it.
That makes sense.
Wait a second, is that a fin?
Yeah, that's his fin. That's part
Oh,
of
okay,
his
then
fin.
I see now. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully no one gets really bad motion sickness. Though it shouldn't be bad with this one, dang it. Because, like with my speed paints, it's probably worse whenever I zoom in and zoom out really fast.
Yeah, the speed paints can get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, this one is going to actually be, you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, I know I had this one. I guess I didn't put the line there. So what I'm gonna do is,
Unlock your line layer?
yeah, unlock my line layer. Use my eyedropper tool. And then just finish this line real quick.
Oh, it's just to go all the way down there.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
this is a separate color.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I gotta turn that off.
Because you don't want that on while you're
Yeah.
coloring. Okay.
All right, back to selecting everything again.
Is
Dang it.
Lazy Mizumi free?
No, it's not. You can get a free 30-day trial, but no, it's not free. It's like $30, I think.
Yeah, it's not too expensive.
To keep it forever kind of thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
I think
license.
there's a limited. Yeah, there's a license with limited trial on it, but I feel like for the price it's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Because it's a, I don't even remember how long the license lasts.
I mean, the thing is, you need to update it, so that's what the license is for. Like, you have to pay to update it, basically. Once you have it, I think you have it forever, pretty much.
That's how Dylan's sound programs are, too.
Okay. And then gonna go, after you selected everything, go to Select, Modify, Expand by 2.
Okay.
That way, you see it goes into these, and doesn't have the, like, if you do it like this,
You'll have a little...
white line going around it.
It does not look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Actually. See, there's a little bit of a line there. It's kind of hard to see since I have this background. So you want that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta do the select, modify, expand by 2. That way it goes into the pixels by 2.
Yeah.
And then when you use the paint bucket tool, you click twice, and that'll also help a little bit with that line thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Show after you've done that now. So go ahead and remove the background.
See, there's still some spots that go in there. So after that, what I do is I go through with the brush tool and I manually go in and color those. And that also helps with the increasing it by 2.
Okay.
But these tight spots, it's always like, oh, this is closed right here, which is really annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to see that in every program, I think.
Yeah. Should we talk about how my laptop died?
I mean, I guess we could. That's the reason why a lot of things have, I guess, been slowed down over here.
Yeah, some of the things might have changed as well. Like, sometimes whenever I have my hand and I'll just, my hand will accidentally touch the trackpad and I haven't turned it off yet. And it'll use the eyedropper tool, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, my laptop died, so I couldn't work on anything for like a week.
So I had to get into some company expenditures and pay for a new laptop. Hopefully this one will actually work better, though.
Yeah, it seems like it's working better already.
I got her one that with better RAM, which is perfect for Photoshop. So for any Photoshop users out there, make sure you get a laptop with really good RAM.
Okay, that one's done.
Also, this podcast will be really helpful for anyone wanting to learn Photoshop.
Yeah. A little Photoshop tutorial from Megan Slay.
Thanks, Megan.
I didn't color that. Oh, I'll color it that color.
You probably take some of this time to talk about the changes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Changes like with the new shield mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're not going to really sound, I guess, too important to people because they don't know what I would be talking about. They haven't really seen the game yet.
Oh, you're just talking about how you might want to tell people about them, so I don't know what you wanted to say.
I mean, I thought that you brought that up. Oh well, whatever. So we're changing the shield mechanics, so now you'll be able to wear more than just one shield, because in the past you could only have one shield equipped at a time, meaning you could have a shield of at maximum 30 and a recharge rate of the shield of at maximum 5, unless you have a scientist who can then create better shields. But 30 shields at later on in the game with different weapons from different enemies, they would be gone in one action if they were to hit you. So we've now stated that you can have multiple shields based off of your Constitution
that was
score.
supposed to be this color.
You got it, Megan?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I just messed up on a color.
But yeah, so we've opted for the Constitution score labeling how many shields you can actually have at a time. So now if you have a full Constitution, that being 30, you can now have 30 shields equipped, which means that you could have a shield of 900 and a recharge rate of 150 if you have max Constitution and all shields equipped at max quality. Another change that we've opted for is the ability recharge for classes. It is now based off of classes' primary ability, except for rogues. We've opted to change rogues a little bit.
Dexterity is already a stat that is really useful in the game, so we didn't want rogues to be overpowered, so we made it their like secondary stat.
Yeah, it's their secondary stat, which is intelligence.
Yeah.
Which at first I was just saying, well, dexterity, we're not going to use it for any ability recharge, but then now they brought that whole dexterity is already such a powerful stat, it doesn't need to be used again. So I guess
I think it'll work out better this way.
I think it will too, most likely. That way, because I was thinking earlier on, whenever I was saying that, talking to Megan about it, I was saying, well, it makes sense that rogues will be fast all the time.
Yeah.
But once you brought that up, it's like, well, I guess dexterity is already such an important stat. Of course, they're going to still build into dexterity.
Yeah, they're still going to be fast, they're still going to have dex, but you don't really want them to have like 30 dex level 1 starting off.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to mention I'm using keyboard shortcuts like B is for brush, E is for eraser, and then I use these little brackets near the enter thing or button to increase the size or decrease the size. Because
Okay.
I know I've seen people on YouTube do that, and I'm just like, what buttons are you pressing for that? And then I finally figured it out. And it's really annoying when people don't say what buttons they're pressing and like how they're getting to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like they're going through it thinking that you would know
Yeah.
the button layouts already.
I don't like that.
I watched a Blender tutorial, and it was really cool because I don't know if it's a program thing, but their keyboard shortcuts were popping up on the screen every time
that's
they
cool.
did it.
Yeah, that's a program, I believe, that you can use
Maybe
for
it's
recording.
the recording program they were using.
Yeah.
I don't think mine does that. It just shows where the mouse is.
I've
Hopefully my mouse is actually activated so people can see where my mouse is.
I'm sure that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I think because I had to reinstall my recording program, I think it's on default now, and it'll actually show what I'm clicking, hopefully. I actually didn't check that.
Well, all right then.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll see what happens in post.
They'll be like, another drawing tutorial.
Yeah. It was mostly for Natalie anyway, so as long as she can see it, so.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit right up there.
Yeah. I know there are a lot of people online, when I watch them color, they'll just go with the brush tool and they won't even use that magic wand thing like I do. And they'll just color perfectly, but I've never been good at coloring in the lines, so that's why I use the magic wand tool.
When I do my line art and do the basic coloring like this, I usually just scribble a bunch and like use
and then go through the erase or something. Yeah. I used to do that with the way I used to color because the line art wasn't like this, and so I couldn't really use the magic wand tool. But now that I do it like this, it's a lot easier. Thank you, Lazy Nozumi.
That eye looks so angry.
Well, it is angry.
I don't think I'd want to be near that thing.
I probably wouldn't either.
Oh, he's an enemy for actually the next game we're going to be working on, an
Yep.
actual computer game. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's all pixel art. So luckily, I kind of had the concept art for this guy already down, so drawing him again for this was easy. But originally, he was just pixel art.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's for the entire game. It's pixel art that we're going to be working on next. But this is one of the enemies in the next game we're going to be working on.
And that one's also set in space.
Yeah, Megan's not happy about that.
I'm tired of sci-fi stuff. So tired of it.
But in that one, you're going to be playing as cats.
Mm-hmm.
Which is adorable.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big spot. That was.
Yeah, that was a big spot. It thought this was closed, so it didn't fill it in.
Oh, what about the in between the teeth right there?
I was wondering
dang.
about that.
I would have noticed that later. Like, darn it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I've been sitting there, I was like, oh, maybe it's a different color. I don't know. But
I
then...
thought maybe it was another tooth that's weirdly shaped.
Well, you thought wrong.
Yeah, these.
And when I'm using the eyedropper tool, I'm on my brush button and just hold Alt and click instead of having to click on the eyedropper tool.
Okay. That's one thing I need to get better about is using the shortcuts.
And then deselecting is Control D.
Oh yeah, I figured that one out in college. I was like, this is like a lifesaver.
I know, right? I don't remember the keyboard shortcut for reselecting. That one I never really remembered. But
Is that supposed to be another spot that's supposed to be filled in?
yes.
Yeah. I point to it, and no one is going to know that I pointed to it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, they
know.
will because you spoke about it, so it's okay.
I
And
guess.
This, is
Yeah.
gonna be, this back here is going to be water.
Okay.
Oh, I'm also noticing. I'm going to be noticing a lot of my mistakes while I do this. And that's the good thing about Photoshops is you can go back and fix your mistake. Which I'll be making a lot of. I'm not perfect.
Well, no one is.
The brush size I use is usually like 6 or something. 4 or like 6. Dang it. Anywhere between like 6 and 9 for line art.
Did you used to use 3?
3. I think when I was using like really thin line art, I don't remember. Did I used to use 3, Natalie?
I think you did.
Yeah.
Because I always use 3 because I think in high school you told me you used 3.
Okay. Now I use about 6 or 8, and even then the lines look really thick.
Don't you like thin lines more?
It just really depends. I feel like ever since I took animation classes, I start liking thick lines a lot more.
I think thick lines add something to it.
Yeah.
Especially if you play with the width in places.
I thought it was thick lines that you didn't like in animation.
Well, like I said, there's some things I'm starting to change my mind about.
Okay then.
I remember Star Versus is a TV show cartoon I really like, And at first, the line art was thick, and it just looked really nice. The animation in the first season was really nice, and the art was really good. And I think, unfortunately, the reason why their art style changed a little bit, like the lines are thinner now, which really bugs me, is because it was just taking too long to do that. So now they use thinner lines. And that's also because it just makes it easier to use thinner lines for more consistency, as I learned in animation. They always told us to use the line tool.
Which is weird because you would think that thicker lines are
right?
easier for more consistency.
Well, with thicker lines, you also have variations, kind of like how this trails off. It has that little point at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of makes it hard to animate consistently, otherwise you get these jittering lines. Kind of like how Edda and Eddie used to be. That was actually part of the art style, though, so that one was fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of animation now, they like to have the line, or the art be very consistent, and the line art be very smooth. So that's why it's, they use the pencil tool a lot more.
Okay.
Oh man, this doesn't have shape dynamics on. So when I would, if I ever do animation in Photoshop, I would actually want to turn pen pressure off right here. That way it's all one size. Oops.
Yeah, so you don't get the jittering lines that you were saying.
Yeah. At some point I would like to do animation in Photoshop, but I'm way too busy for that now.
Given the projects that we're working on. Gosh, all that water.
Yeah. Oh.
If you couldn't tell, this guy's supposed to be a fish.
So sometimes when I'm working, I'll accidentally press the start button on my laptop, and I have it set so when that happens, it stops the recording. That way you can't see that window pop up, and that just happened right there.
Oh.
Oh, you guys didn't press the start button?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. Well, I mean, you were saying that... Oh, I don't know if you actually said that during the podcast
No, I
yet.
didn't say that.
Okay, then. You were just saying it before we
Yes,
actually
I was
started
letting
recording.
you guys know.
Yeah. But this enemy is going to be, like we were saying in the next game we're working on, they're a slave to one of the race they're actually be fighting in the next game. A slave to the Kurgling Empire.
I'm pressing Control click to add more. Oh wait, Shift click. There we go. Shift click to select more. By the way.
Okay.
But they were taken... Well, first they were fighting against the Kurgling Empire, but then their experiments that they were holding to try and fight back the enemy kind of turned against them. And so they had to surrender. That's the word for it. Surrender the Kurgling Empire and just become their slaves. Which is kind of funny if you look at them now, because they actually are full-blown all for the Kurgling Empire.
They got brainwashed.
I mean, I guess something happened, because I've made it so that they are just full-on supporting the Kurgling Empire. I guess they got a better deal than the Cradians and the Electrocuties and things like that. Which you'll see all those actually in the game that we're going to be making next.
Yeah.
We're talking a lot about the next game because this is one of the last podcasts for Primus Star.
If not the last.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure it will be the last because we've been saying it on all of our platforms. I don't know if we've actually said it on Patreon.
I changed the opacity on the fins.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're transparent now.
But this is the last month we can work on Primus Star.
Yep.
Due to government facts.
But also, it's good to be getting it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, finally. It's been a while.
It's been so long. We've been working on this thing for freaking ever. I mean, like, there are pictures of, the stuff I did in college for this.
I'm glad that we're actually starting to get done with finishing it, because I've been going through every so often, every day, just thinking, did I mess everything up? Do I need to reset everything?
Revamp whole book.
But I'm glad we're getting done with it, because my mind is starting to get to that place. So I think I need to stop working on it and just get it out there, be done with it, and focus on a new thing. Because my mind is starting to go to wild places. Like, you know what? Forget about the entire book. Let's make it a new book. New Primus Star.
Before Primus Star even comes out, Primus Star V2.
Well, I think one of the main reasons why I've been like that is because we've tested it, sure, but I feel like we need to test it even more, because I'm starting to feel like, oh, it's not like this one game that I play. So apparently, if it's not like this one game I play, it's not good.
No, it's good. It's supposed to be its own game. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. That's what I keep on saying to myself. I mean, it's its own game, so I don't need to worry about it. But my mind. Your mind is not your friend, apparently.
You are your worst critic, right? Isn't that what the thing is?
Yeah, you're your worst critic. For the Vatian, you're your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually just a saying that, I mean, I'm sure that's some human saying. So.
By the way, when I'm zooming left and right, or scrolling left and right, I'm holding control and using the zoom thing, and then alt is to zoom in and zoom out. That I don't use the magnet or hand tool. I think I remember in college, they were just like, yeah, I use the hand tool and the zoom magnifying glass thing, and I'm like, no, I don't do that.
I didn't know about the going back and forth one.
The hand tool and the magnifying tool,
yeah.
I feel like it takes too long to switch
Yeah,
between
I know.
things.
That's why I don't like it, and that's why I'm like, no, I'm not going to use that.
By the way, I'm gonna backtrack here a little bit. That tongue that we were looking at looked kind of crazy. I do not want to be licked by that tongue.
I feel like I was
never
looking
knew
at a lot of
this.
my enemies, and I'm just like, a lot of them are sticking their tongues out or have their mouth open or something. I don't know why. It was just the choice I made for them to have their mouths open with
It's
their
the
tongues
true
out.
sign of every villain to have their mouth wide open.
And their tongue sticking out.
Yep.
I guess. So I'm using the opacity layer, which is basically no background, and they have the tiled thing. And I remember in my art classes, they would always suggest, instead of using that, to use an obnoxious pink color, so like this really bright.
Gosh, I remember that.
They called it pank, and I was just like, oh my god. But it was just, you could use any obnoxious neon color if you really wanted to. If you're working with like light backgrounds, like if he was mostly light colors, this probably wouldn't be a good idea. And I use gray backgrounds because it's supposed to be like neutral color, so colors don't pop out as much. Like if you have if you're working on a black background, all the light colors will pop out they'll just pop out a lot. And then if you're working on a white background, all the dark colors will pop out a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I use gray.
It's a nice in between.
Okay, what should I work on next?
Anything red.
You want me to work on the red stuff next?
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to see that eye come to life.
I usually leave eyes for a separate layer.
Well, I mean, you can still do that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll put eyes in a separate folder.
Oh, okay then. So you just separate it from everything.
Yeah, I don't know. When I do eyes, I shade them and highlight them, like, right away.
Eyes have a lot of details.
Some people say it's the entryway into the soul.
Those little buttons.
It's to fire his missiles. Technically, in Primus Star, I had to edit some things, so he doesn't actually shoot missiles, I don't think, in this game. Or, no, I think I actually did give him a missile launcher. I retract that previous statement then. But in the next game we're working on, he focuses on firing missiles. Basically only firing missiles.
Okay. Oh, and his eye. Of
Yeah,
course, how could I forget his eye?
don't forget his eye. Even his little nub.
That's gonna actually be a lighter color. That's gonna be that other pink eye. pink part. Pink eye. That's what he's gonna have.
Oh no.
Dang, he's got like a tomato for an eyeball.
Are you gonna give him a little tomato stem?
No.
Alright, there we go. Now I can see that eye.
Yeah, his iris is gonna be that light pink color.
Oh, okay then. That makes sense. You know, I'm starting to think how many, like, aquatic races, well, aquatic enemies do I have in Primus Star?
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think that there's that many. And we have Angler, we have the Kurgling.
There's the Mine Pig.
Mine Pig, if we really want to call them that. I guess creatures based off of aquatic life forms.
Yeah. Experiment X.
Experiment X, yeah. If we really want to go far, I don't know if we want to really include them, but the elder beings, I don't really know if I would classify them as aquatic.
Missed a spot. Oh well.
A lot of them have tentacles, but...
Yeah.
How many monsters or creatures do you know are in the monster manual? Or like part of this book? You know?
Like,
like the number of them?
Yeah, I was
the
just
number
wondering.
of enemies?
Yeah, like the number of enemies.
Well, let's see. There's at least one enemy for every CR. And then there's one enemy for CR 32.5 and one enemy for CR 35,
right
which are out of the CR ranges.
In case anything happens.
I would say that there is most likely then 40 to 50 enemies, somewhere in that range.
So a lot of people go through and unlock the layers once they're done with them, but I always find mistakes that I didn't color in. What was it? Oh no, it's locking up.
You got this, computer. I believe in you.
I bet the screen's about to go crazy and like scroll over the place. I'm really glad I just saved.
Yeah, it's only 40 to 50 enemies though in this book, but that's just because it's the core rule book.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get more enemies, then we're going to be releasing a bestiary guide.
I was just wondering, like, trying to give them an idea of what to expect in the book, you know?
Yeah.
Huh, I think I'm gonna have to pause and fix this problem. We can still talk though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do your shout out if you wanted.
Oh, yeah, I guess this is a perfect time for a shout out. This is a shout out to Alan Moore for donating $100 still. So thank you very much. You've boosted our donations up to $122 per month right now. That has actually helped out immensely given that Megan's laptop died.
Yep.
So we were able to use your money very quickly. Basically the very same month you donated, we were able to use that money. Are we doing well?
Yeah.
Or is it back?
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't have to restart my laptop.
Oh, and it actually saved a lot of things that you were doing
Yeah.
already. Okay, then cool.
Back to recording. I guess whenever I edit this video, I'll just stick like a picture in there.
Can you see where we're at? Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cool.
Did you have a moment where you're just like, oh god, what if we're not recording anymore?
Yeah, I was worried a little bit about it. Sometimes I have to go through that little bit of worry.
Yeah, I understand. The last time we recorded, and it only recorded like, what was it, 18 minutes?
We didn't even talk about that last time.
No, we didn't, but the recording only recorded for 18 minutes, and then it stopped, and then the 30 minutes we had talked was basically gone to waste, so we had to restart.
Yep.
Of course, it was during the art podcast. Because art programs always crash.
Is that the reason?
Yeah.
They do.
Like we just experienced.
Yeah. Let's do this. I like to put things in folders, Natalie, because it's so useful.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do whenever doing a lot of the, I guess, grouping things up into code
Yeah.
for the next thing that we're working on.
So, there's this other thing I recently found out in college, and I love doing this. Instead of using the magic wand tool to select the stuff on this layer that I have, like if I select the red one and just do that, instead of doing that, you just control and then click on the layer and it'll select everything in that layer.
Oh, awesome.
I know, I love it. I think it's better than actually using the magic wand tool.
I think you took your layer out of the layer you...
Oh, dang it. How did I do that?
There we go, we're done.
Yeah.
That's
it
nice.
for this time. See you next time. Put a little bit of a skew on that.
Okay then.
Because it's at an angle.
Yeah.
There we go. Alright, now that when I'm working on the eye, I like to actually finish the eye. That's why I put it in a different folder.
So what's next for the eye?
The shading.
Oh, okay then.
Turn the opacity. I like to put it at like 20 something.
Okay.
And I turn the hardness all the way down. This is just for the eye.
Do you just pick a really dark color?
Yeah, I just, did you see I went over here and picked a color? Like it's, whatever the base color is, I'll take it and I'll turn it down.
Okay.
What's really funny is this race, along with the Kurglings, they're all basically barbarians. So it's just barbarians in space. Fish barbarians in space.
The eraser, for some reason, when you turn the opacity down a lot, it still, like, erases really, like, it still erases, yeah, so I always turn it down to, like, 15 or something, or 10 sometimes.
Okay. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Do this whole bunch.
You know, looking at the eye now, they have huge eyeballs.
Yeah. It's to see better with.
I bet you that there's some people out there that are just like, bring us back. However many eyes you bring back is how much bounty we'll give you.
Maybe. Then I'm going to do a highlight on it.
It's crazy. I don't even know what just happened there.
What?
Like, as you're doing that, it gets lighter.
Yeah, I'm putting the highlight on.
She picked a lighter color.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go over here in this corner.
Okay, I guess I kind of get it now, because it was just, everything was kind of blurred out at the edges, so it looked like you were doing the same color, but then as you kept on doing it, it was, never mind.
I understand.
I think I'm gonna turn the hardness up on this to like 50.
That's why. Okay, then the hardness
Delete that.
thing. Okay. Yeah, that another thing. Okay, then I see more of why I thought that, because the darkness was all there, and then with the highlights, it's getting rid of the shading a little bit.
Yeah. And I turned the opacity down on it because it's still too bright.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do an outline on that part, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add an outline to it because that makes the iris pop more, or the pupil. I guess this is the pupil.
Yeah. The iris is what's around the pupil.
Yeah. Actually, I'll do the line color. Just deselect.
Dang. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little big on top.
Yeah. Trying to fix it so it looks more curved. Interesting. Let's change the color on that. So Control U to bring out the hue and saturation thing. You can bump up the saturation, make it darker.
Oh, okay, then you're changing it on the line.
Yeah. No, I don't really like that. I don't even like the line, how that turned out. I'm gonna put lazy and zoomy on so I get smoother lines. So recently Photoshop has also updated, because my computer crashed and I had to get a new version, or I had to download Photoshop again. I hadn't updated my old Photoshop, and recently they added a smoothing option. You can see it up here in the corner. That wasn't there before. And it's pretty good, but I still like Lazy Nezumi more.
Up your game, Photoshop.
Yeah. But it's funny because every time Photoshop would be like, oh, do you want to do a survey? And I would do the survey and I'd be like, I like it, except it's pretty ridiculous. I have to buy a third-party program just to get smooth lines. And now I'm just like, they finally listened to my complaints.
But it wasn't even that good.
For people who don't
have Lazy Nezumi, I feel like it's gonna be good for them.
Okay.
Plus, putting it in is the first step to making it good.
Here we go. Oops. I'm gonna add the highlight on the eye. No. What the heck? It's like the opacity is down. Oh, it is. I'm drawing on the wrong layer. I hate when that happens. Make a new layer. There we go.
That looks like it's actually all there. Oh, what is that the, okay, that's the iris.
What, this?
No, the little speckles that I'm seeing on the highlight up there. Yeah.
Alright.
I like his floppy little angler thing going on.
Yeah. I'm sure this eye will look better with the addition of shading to the rest of his body.
That makes it pop out a lot. Almost makes me think of caviar. How shiny it is.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe actually not a bounty. It's actually a thing.
A delicacy?
Collect me eyes and I will cook you this angler eye stew.
All right.
No wonder they hate everything. People still in their eyes making it into dishes.
Okay, so I'm gonna close the eye.
The people they're with, they're like, we will enslave you, but we will not eat you. And they're like, yay!
That's why they like us so much. It's like, finally, someone who doesn't eat us.
I'm gonna have to fix a lot of these. Because Photoshop's not gonna select a bunch in here.
Well, I feel bad for them, kind of, because in the next game that we're making, we're going to be going into their backstory a little bit. And their original homeworld was kind of invaded by another species that we'll be adding into Primus Star later on. But it was invaded by them, and they blew up their homeworld, leaving them for, you know, just to die out in space. But they survived somehow, and they escaped, and now they became barbarians. And thinking about it, it's like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, if you have nothing else, become barbarians, go and raid everything else. Hate everything. Everything took it away from you anyways.
Just watching me draw now.
Yep.
I think it should be fine to have these pauses just because we have a video.
Yeah, we have video now.
We should say that people shouldn't get spoiled, though. I don't know if this is going to be in every...
No, this isn't going to be this isn't going to happen all the time.
Well, see, now that Megan said that, I think that we should make it all the time now.
I think some people would prefer both types, like, because this is more of an educational video, they're getting less about the project and stuff like that, so...
Oh, we're still talking a little bit about the next project that we're doing.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying that some people might like the, you know, the
Actually just
focus,
focused.
yeah.
I understand
didn't
that.
put colors on these, but they're going to be gray. So that's why I didn't put colors on them. You know, looking into the eye now, I'm like, damn, I really like his eye.
You don't want to eat it, right?
I don't want to eat it.
I think that you want to eat it.
It looks really pretty.
It does look pretty.
Would you eat it?
Maybe.
Probably play marbles with it.
Yeah, marbles would be nice.
Another reason why they hate everybody. Not only do they eat it, they play with our eyes.
I don't know if it's squishy though. I'd be like, this is the worst marble ever.
What if their eyes look so big? What if their eyes actually hold their own brain? I don't even know how that would work.
That'd be stupid.
It would be.
Also, sometimes you'll see me when I make a new layer, and I don't name my layers because I'm really lazy. I know that's a really bad thing. I'm sure more in the industry I'll have to actually name my layers.
Yes.
But but I don't. And so when I'm going through and I'm making sure I don't draw on another layer, I'll just when I edit one and I'll scroll around, I'll just hide layers to make sure I'm not drawing on one that I shouldn't be drawing on.
I have to watch you as you do that for a little while, trying to find out what layer is where.
It's not that bad.
Um,
Maybe it annoys you, but it doesn't annoy me.
I guess. I'm just thinking about later on, whenever we're working with other people.
Yeah, I know. With other people, I have to start naming them.
If you name your folder though, at least.
Yeah. Like, I've been doing folders more because it's just easier. And plus, with the whole folder, you can just, I'm going to put I somewhere else. Like, hide the entire folder. Oh, dang, look at that eye without the color underneath. That looks really cool. Yeah. Dang.
It does look cool.
Dang. Okay.
Like, time to remove the color.
Yeah. No more color on this guy.
Maybe that's actually how they eat the eye.
Oh.
They suck out all the jelly inside.
So, I accidentally colored this wrong, and I'm gonna need to get rid of that color for when I'm shading, because when I'm shading, I want to be shading just this part, and it's gonna select this part. So what I'll do is I'll select this, and then click on the layer that I want to delete the color from, and then just press delete.
Oh, okay. That makes
And
sense.
see, that color's not there anymore.
That's really easy.
Yeah, it's really convenient. That's why I love the control click thing. Like, once they introduced that to me in college, I'm like, this makes life so much easier.
Figured out a lot of shortcuts.
Yeah.
Is there any purpose for those little...
Bolts?
Are those bolts?
I guess.
Okay then. I'm just asking, maybe you had something specific that they
No.
were... No? Okay. Well... That's gonna infuriate some people, I can already tell.
Why? Because they're not perfect circles?
Oh,
Also, there's too many on one side, isn't there?
yeah.
Oh.
There's more on one side than there is on the other. It almost looks like...
It's okay though. I
I'll
think it's
fix it.
okay.
No,
to do.
it's fine.
No, it's too late. You already pointed it out.
Okay.
Let's see. They don't line up.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
think I like it the way you had it. Sometimes being asymmetrical is okay.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late now.
She's already done it.
It's too much of a perfect circle though.
It's the only one that they actually tried bolting on. They were just hurrying up and everything else like, this one though. This one is going to be perfect.
It's because someone was like, wait, we forgot one, and they were like, you know, just like with what Megan right now, they're like, man, we gotta put it on there and make sure no one notices.
They're losing so many people that they just have to rush to creating the mech suits.
Okay, those look good. Oh, I realized
What? What did you realize?
that doesn't have that.
What?
Do you see this? This on
Yeah.
the clamp? On
Yeah.
that arm?
Oh,
that
you're
doesn't have
right.
it. I also noticed something else.
Oh no. Okay. What'd
What?
you notice?
Scroll out and look up. Is that supposed to... Okay, never mind.
Oh man, I drew on this thing.
I thought I noticed something, but apparently it just goes underneath the thing. I guess it's because he's leaning forward,
Yeah.
running? Okay, then. That makes sense, then.
I always have to make sure I lock the line layer though, because I do not want to draw on the line layer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just as bad as drawing on the background color. Like drawing on this, I would just die. If I can't go back enough, I would just give up. I'm like, time to restart. Or just delete that layer and restart.
Feels like you've had that happen to you.
I've had that happen a lot. I remember it's a very big beginner's problem where they draw on the wrong layer, and that's why locking is very important, making sure whichever layer you're on is the right one. And I still make that mistake sometimes where I draw on the wrong layer. That sucks. Where's the other thing?
I don't make that mistake.
You don't work on Photoshop.
Fair enough, yeah.
So you notice that sometimes when I zoom out, there's those little dotted lines there?
Mm-hmm.
So how I fix that is usually after I'm done drawing. Because when you put this on your background in the book, the lines will actually still come through a little bit. So what I do is select the lines, select everything around it, and then, select inside the gaps that's not, selected.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good. Go to select, modify, expand by 2 again, and then on layer at the very bottom, I'll pick a color. Let's pick this one. And, oh wait, first you have to inverse it. Select inverse. That way I'll select everything here. And then fill it in. Oh, I missed that spot right there. That was a very big spot I missed.
Gives it more of a...
Well, that way whenever you put it in the book, you won't have those lines there.
Okay.
And also whenever I go through and highlight everything, I get rid of that. When I use the highlighting part, I just select all of it. That way I don't have to go through layer and layer and select everything.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes doing like the line art, not line art, the highlight line art. There we go. Better and easier.
Looking at this thing more, it's making me think of something from the 80s.
From the 80s?
Some kind of
like from a TV show or something?
Yeah, some kind of like sci-fi monster from the 80s. I mean, just look at it.
I guess.
I mean, but isn't Primus Star based on the 80s?
We didn't mention that, we didn't mention that last time in the podcast, except for in the beginning when we deleted it. We mentioned that the color palette changed, and now it's more saturated like the 80s.
Yeah. At first, I didn't even realize it. I think we talked about it in one podcast, but I'm just going to talk about it again. I didn't really realize it, and then one of the artists that was going to help us for a little bit.
No, that's not helping us really anymore.
Yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, this you're going for an 80s art style, right?" And I was very confused, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I looked at all the artwork for Primus Star, just like, "Oh my God, he's right. This is all 80s."
I didn't intend for that at all. In fact, one thing from the 80s I hate is how they did the chrome, how they colored chrome stuff. I really hate chrome art.
Well, Megan, if it's in chrome, it's in the future.
I hate it. Alright, I think that's all the base colors now.
Cool.
Oh wait, no, I need to do this handle thing here. This guy's got a lot of colors. Let's do, I didn't actually pick a color for him. Let's do a dark gray, because then I have to, well, originally it was going to be black, but then if I make it black, I can't really shade it, so I always make the stuff like a little bit brighter than black. Or white. Dimmer than white, brighter than black. There we go.
That's your motto.
Okay. Span by 2. I'm gonna have to move this under the fin layer. Just click and drag to move layers. Scroll down. There we go. Right, I think that's all the base color now. How far are we in the podcast? Come on, there we go. All right.
All right. All right, we're making good time.
Yeah. So now it's time to do the shading. So base colors, add new folder, shading.
How much you want to bet that whenever we release this game, someone is going to want to play as this
right?
race?
I spelled shading wrong.
Which I mean,
I don't know. There's some enemies in other games I wish I could play as.
Yeah.
That's what homebrew is for.
Yeah, I mean, you can homebrew it. I could see this race being like a Geisling. Just take a lot of the
That's
Geisling
true,
traits
yeah.
and just put it into this.
So now that I'm going to do the shading, and this is kind of a metallic thing, I'm going to turn the hardness, I think about like 60 or 70. Turn the opacity down about 20, just like what I normally like to do, 25. And then... Oh yeah, picking a color. I'm like, what did I need to do over here? So this is the base color of this. I'm just going to pull this down over here.
Okay.
I don't actually, sometimes I use color palettes and I'll be like, okay, this is going to be this color. And I'll pick out the shading for it too, but recently I just don't do that anymore. Because shading also really depends on the light, the situation the character's in, like what kind of lighting it's in.
It's about to explode, right? This guy.
So sometimes you can have blue highlight, or blue shading, yellow shading, you know, just, so that's why I don't really like, oh, this is the shading, well, it's going to be 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. If you do the weird colored shading, do you still try to match it with the original color, or do you
A little bit, like, let me do this on a different, press X to switch the colors. So like, let's say it's more blue, turn this down, and then do something like that.
Okay.
And if you ever accidentally, like, do an eyedropper tool somewhere else, I'll just deselect this. What you can do to get the shading back, in case you don't have it saved anywhere, is just copy this layer a crap ton by pressing Ctrl-J, and use the eyedropper tool on it to get it back, and then go and delete those layers.
Okay.
So because it's happened to me where I've been shading, and all of a sudden I'll accidentally delete the color or something, or press somewhere else.
Because I know that we used to name the layers. Like
Yeah, I used to, but now I don't. What I used to do, so what Natalie's talking about, what I used to do is I would take the color, like I would just take this, and that's why I would name the layer. I don't do that anymore now. That's a lot of effort. Come on. There we go.
No, I'm starting to do that
Yeah,
thing.
it's starting to do that thing.
Is it still doing it, or?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know why it does this. It'll slowly happen, like all of a sudden it'll catch up and everything will just randomly appear.
I mean, isn't that a RAM thing? I would think that's random access memory.
I think it's a Photoshop thing.
Oh, or is it just a Photoshop?
I think just the bigger the file you're working on, the bigger brush you use, it does that. Especially when I go up to like, I'm at 100 right now. If I go up to maximum, it takes forever.
Yeah. I did that on accident.
I guess it's because you're filling up more pixels.
Okay. I'm also gonna...
Probably. Especially if the file itself is on a big resolution.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the eraser tool because it kind of got darker in spots I didn't want it to. And usually, people talk about picking the direction your light's coming from. I usually always pick it coming down on the top right side. I don't know why. That's just my go-to thing.
I think that was my go-to thing whenever I was actually drawing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do that.
Let's put some over here.
What was your go-to light position, Natalie?
Random. I never thought about it. I'm
That's kind of a
horrible at
good
lighting. Is it?
Well, I guess if you just... I was thinking you would like pick a direction at random, but if you're just shading random, then that's not really that
Yeah,
good.
I just used to shade random. I'd be like, I have no idea how this works, but I know the shading goes in here.
Okay, so...
I kind of understand it better now, but...
Wait a second. So you were just like, I don't know where the shadow should be, but I know that shadows exist.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I know
so-
it goes like under the head, under the hair. That's kind of, so I guess from the top somewhere.
So then I like to go through, and erase the edges because light on edges usually catches a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fix that spot. We learned this in college, Natalie, in art classes.
Did we?
Yeah, I remember Miss James, I think her name was, when I did my final project.
Shout out to Miss James.
Yeah, shout out to Miss James. You're a great teacher. You're like the best one there. She talked about on my final project doing highlights on some of the edges that should have otherwise, or I originally just had dark because I figured, you know, the shadows there. But the way light works, it's actually better to have some highlights around the edges.
I get it on like simple shapes. It's just when you put it, I think I just confuse myself easily.
Alright, so now I'm going to do the highlight. And I do keep highlights in this shading section. So what I'll do is I'll start working my way up. So I'll start on this layer, which is this base layer. And then the shading, I'll do the, you know, the shading. And then next one, I'll do the highlights.
Oh man, I still see it kind of
Lagging, yeah.
trying to go. It's chugging along.
Oh god. I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah.
The little Photoshop that could.
And I kind of like, I like having the opacity doing this, and it's kind of blotchy. I don't know. This is my art style. It looks a little bit painterly, I guess.
Mhm.
So that's why
I think it
like
looks fine.
I like it.
Yeah. Oops.
Whoa. Okay then. Okay, I just thought that it was like, oh, everything's black now, so good luck with that.
Do the highlight edges.
You know, if this thing gets super popular, where there's going to be a huge community that's doing a whole bunch of homebrew stuff for it, I don't know how I would feel.
I feel pretty excited.
I mean, I would be excited, but I mean, I would probably like just have to sit down and think about my life for a moment.
Oh, because of okay.
What?
Because they'd be changing your rules that you worked on?
No,
okay.
no. I just, it's because all this is happening and everything.
Probably because he didn't think it'd get that big, right?
No.
Oh gosh.
What is
God.
going on? Your computer is being taken over.
It's Monica.
Way now. Don't bring her up.
I'm sure not many people get that reference.
I don't know. It seemed pretty popular.
I mean, not...
The people supporting right now probably won't get that reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime my computer glitches out now, though, I'm like, it's Monica. I didn't even play that game on my laptop either. It was on Jonathan's laptop.
She's trying to transfer her files over to your laptop. This new one, even.
Let's see how that looks with that. Okay, that looks pretty metallic. What do you think? Maybe
It looks shiny.
Okay. I think I might add another light layer onto it.
I know that one thing that I found out with metallic things is you want to highlight to where the scratches would be, like across the surface.
If only Photoshop was going. Oh my god.
That's not metallic.
Yeah. I'll have to make my brush smaller to do scratches. I do need to practice more on textures. I know some people, I've seen them online, will do like texture studies where they'll just like draw a ball or something and they'll just draw textures on it. It's really cool when people do like lava. It looks really cool.
Huh.
Oh, it should be you just stare at whatever you're studying and just look at it how it is. So
The sun textures.
yeah, just stare at the sun. for like an hour.
We do not advocate staring at the sun.
No, do not stare at the sun. Stare at lava, though.
Stare at lava. You still might need special glasses for that or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Stand in the lava. It should be fine.
Just stand in lava.
You should get more. It should be more like you can learn more because you're actually feeling the texture at that point.
Oh my god.
We do not advocate standing in lava.
You speak for yourself.
So sometimes with shading, what I'll do is I'll just make a little scribble for highlights for sometimes. Like I did that on the engineer. If you look at him, I sometimes would do that with the highlights and stuff.
No, so yeah, probably I should say do not stand in lava.
Just gonna say that now.
Yeah, just, say that
Before
now.
someone decides to.
Alright, before the video ends, because it's about time to wrap it up, I will show how to do the highlight, even though I normally save this for last. And like I said, normally I'll select the entire thing. Actually, I'll just do that then. Turn lazy to zoomy on, turn the brush or opacity all the way up, turn the hardness all the way up, keep the brush size around like 9 or somewhere around there. And then I'll just go along the sides. Oops. I edit undo a lot on this stuff too. Gotta make sure I'm drawing on a layer I haven't drawn on yet. Okay, above colors. And I'll just go through like the sides and stuff. And I'll just do like strokes of white.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then I have to, like I said, the scribbles, I have to turn off lazy Nozumi because it doesn't work very well with the scribbles. And just do it like that. Turn the size. Well, turning the size down didn't do anything. Zoom way in. There you go.
The white streaks really help.
Yeah.
With making it look metallic. Or
Just like making it look finished. And
Yeah, it really pops out a lot when you add the white streaks. And some of my characters, I don't even use white on it. Like, one of the characters I drew, and then I just realized I should do the art style that way instead. Like, the first art character I drew in this art style that I'm currently using, I used blue and pink highlights on her. Whoops, that went on the teeth. So that's why I'm just like, man, highlights look really good. Sometimes I go a little bit overboard with them too.
It's okay.
Makes everything look shiny.
Too much of a good thing can be bad.
Yeah. So there we go. Like everything else isn't colored or shaded in yet, but I'm getting there, and that's how I do my stuff, Natalie.
That was really helpful.
Yeah.
And rest of the audience.
Yeah, and rest of the audience. And then you can look back and reference this when you're working.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get done with things faster.
I think we're doing good. We're making good progress, everyone.
Yeah.
We are.
And I'm pretty sure I'll get done with this today too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you went
most
with that
likely.
pretty fast, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, all that's really left are the guns, the arms, the backpack thing.
And his whole body. The rest of it, I mean, come on. Why?
The only thing that needs to be done is, all of it.
But some days I have my off days where I'm just trying to get this done, and then it takes me for freaking ever. I remember the sleeper was like that, where I made a lot of mistakes. When I uploaded the speed paint video, sometimes I was working on like feet and stuff, and then I couldn't get the lines right, so I'd pause the video that I was working on, and like the recording, and then I would get it fixed and looking good, and then I would actually start the recording again. So sometimes you don't see all my progress because I just I get so annoyed trying to make the lines look good that I just kind of pause it and go off the screen, I guess, and make it look better.
And see, now people can go back and look at that video and see, oh, this is what she was talking about.
And then, like, I remember working on the Sleeper God. Oh my god, that took forever. That one had, like, I had no motivation to finish it. I'd turn it on, I'd work on it a little bit, I'm like, I'm done. I don't know what it was about that one, but it just took me forever.
Alright, well, I guess at this point we could be done.
Yeah.
So this has been the 4th podcast of Real P Productions. I have been Jonathan Moore, the lead designer.
I'm Natalie Thompson, the lead graphic designer.
And I'm Megan Slade, the lead artist.
And thank you so much for watching. We'll be back here next month for the 5th podcast. And
which probably won't be Primus Star.
Yeah, because Primus Star should be released by then, hopefully. If not, well, more money to our lawyer, I guess.
Yeah. No, it'll be out.
It should be out, yeah, it should be out. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye until next time.
Bye.